Greetings. This video is about using noun groups to improve the quality of our writing. If you don't know what a noun group is, then please try and check out the other video that was posted earlier, which goes into more detail about what a noun group is and how it's composed. In this particular case, what we're looking to do is to use our understanding of noun groups to improve the quality of our writing. What we're aiming to do today is to improve the lexical density of our writing. Now that's quite a complex term, but essentially what it means is the amount of information that we're featuring inside our sentences. Now in this case, I'm using a sentence as an example. The politicians in this country are corrupt. They are taking our rights. Now you might notice that there's two pieces of information here spread over two sentences. The fact that they are taking our rights is one, so the politicians being they are taking our rights is the first piece of information, and the second piece of information is the politicians in this country are corrupt. If we think about the ratio of this, we have one piece of information, or actually I should say we have two pieces. I'll mix this up a little bit. Two pieces of information, and we have two sentences. What that means is that we have a ratio of 2 to 2, or for people who are a bit mathsy, you might realise that's just like saying 1 to 1. For every one sentence, there's one piece of information. Now, when we're talking about improving the quality of our writing, what we want to be doing is putting more information in each sentence. That means that the written nature of our writing is more concise, and that makes it more effective. So what we're going to do today is we're going to use this sentence to actually, this information to create one sentence, and we're going to do that by creating a noun group. Let's start by looking at the nouns that are present. In our previous video, we talked about the fact that any two words that form the name of something are a noun group. So in this case, the politicians is a noun group, because that's the name that we're giving to the people that run our country. This country is another noun group, because we're talking about the name of where we currently live, which is this country. When we move on to the next sentence, and you might remember that we need a noun in every sentence, we've used a pronoun, which is the word they. And when we say they, we're talking about the politicians. So you might notice that everything within this two sentences, every noun is effectively related in some way to the politicians. So what I'm going to try and do is actually collaborate some of this information so that it all actually goes together into one noun group. If I am able to do this, then I can actually make my sentence more concise. I can say the same information but with less words, and that makes it more written. We'll do another lexical density assessment of it afterwards and see if we can improve it. So, the politicians in this country are corrupt. They are taking our rights. Two sentences, two pieces of information. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to combine some pieces of information so that they don't need to be in their own in their own sentence. For example, here we've used the word corrupt, and corrupt is being used to describe the word politicians. Now for people who've looked at our previous video, you might remember the fact that we have this pointer, numerator, intensifier, describer, classifier system that we can use to help us put together noun groups. What I'm going to be doing in this case is rearranging some things. Now, corrupt is a word describing the politicians, which means I can actually use it as a describer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the word politicians down the bottom, and I'm going to copy the word corrupt, and rather than putting it in its current place, I'm actually going to put it beforehand. The corrupt politicians. In this case, I've taken that piece of information, which was originally the focus of a sentence, and I've made it part of the noun group. So now I've said the corrupt politicians in this country. Now all of these words, while there's a few of them, all make one noun. Because in this case, this is the name of the people that I'm talking about, the corrupt politicians in this country. Now, what I've done is rather than focusing a whole sentence on saying that they're corrupt, I've just implied that by making it part of the noun group. Now that I've done that, I can skip this full stop and move on to what the next piece of information is, which is the fact that they are taking our rights. Well, I don't need to say they, because I've already said the corrupt politicians in this country, so I'm just going to copy this last section and put it on the end. And that's it. It's a simple process of all I've done is I had two sentences. One sentence was dedicated to actually describing the politicians, so by moving that describer earlier into the process, I was able to make a noun group, which made the reason for having two sentences not really useful. In this case, I've said the corrupt politicians in this country are taking our rights. I could just as easily say, this country's corrupt politicians are taking our rights, and that would read even better. But in this case, I'm still communicating those two pieces of information from above, but I'm doing it in one sentence. So, if we do our lexical analysis, we're doing two pieces of information in one sentence. And if I take that down again, it becomes a ratio of 2 to 1. Which means I'm communicating more information in less words. And if I can get in the habit of doing that, then I'm writing in a much more formal way. You can do this in any sentence, and it doesn't have to be two sentences that need to be combined, but we could have actually said, I could have said, this country's corrupt politicians that are taking our rights are in need of support. And that would have been a further sentence which would have helped. But I won't confuse you too much with this particular video. Hopefully you've learned the process of converting the noun group, which you can apply to sentences of your